Well guys, it's January 31st and we got a little snow last night, so figured I would take the time to get out here and play around in it a little bit and kind of go over my kayak journey. Even though it's been a short journey and I've only been doing this for a few years, I kind of thought it'd be nice to give you guys a look into kind of how it all started for me, and like I guess how minimalistic you can be on a budget, because I didn't know anything about this, and honestly I don't have the money to kind of keep up with the Joneses as they were, so I kind of just add things as I go. But I wanted to go over what I have now and then kind of what I started with, and then showing you guys, you know, there are some differences, but that you can make it work with even the most minimal of gear. So this is the Bonafide RS117 I got from River Sports Outfitters last December. So it's January 2026, so the December before last, so 2024 of December. And yeah, this is a 2022 model. Even if you go on their site to this day, you can't find this olive green in the new models. This is actually one of the colors they discontinued, I believe, or either that or they don't offer it. But yeah, I like it. It does me a lot better than my previous kayak, but I wanted to go over both those with you. So we'll go back first, and then we'll work our way to our current situation and what that looks like. So I fished out of this up into December of 2024. So barely over a year I've had this kayak. So this is a Pelican Ultimate 120. And if you know anything about this model, this is a 2020 model. If you know anything about this model, it is not built for, it's not built for fishing out of, really. I mean, not tournament fishing, not even really recreational fishing. Everything on here is pretty much modded or does not come with the kayak, and I will go over what all those things are. So, and then I'm going to have a picture up next to it showing you kind of what it was when I got it versus now, and then go over like what a plain model looks like versus this. So you can see it's got some wear and tear. I've broke off a pedal, and you know, it's also got a 2025 sticker on it because I haven't been able to update it. So the motor on it is, you know, it's on here, but I still need to get this thing renewed for 2026, which you can see we already got the 2026, and I got new stickers on, which I'm probably gonna have to replace those every year or so, because they just tear and whatever, you know, it's when you're rough on them, it happens. But this is a very, very cheap. I think my wife got this for me in 2022, I believe, if I remember correctly. I bought this off a gentleman off Facebook Marketplace for $200. It was beat up then, but I didn't care. It was a kayak, a sit on top kayak. It did not have this seat. I had a Walmart seat in it, actually. I tore the Pelican seat out. And I went to a Walmart stadium seat, which was terrible. And then I eventually changed to this Ascend seat, which is about 65 bucks. I bought this trolling motor off of a gentleman out of Oak Ridge for 50-60 bucks. It's an old school Motor Guide T34, 34 pound thrust, 12 volt motor. I added this mount for a transducer. I did run a graph on here. I still have the holes here where my mount is, and I'll probably put that back eventually. I still have that mount and the monitor, but we'll go over that in a minute. I added this over here for a rod holder. I screwed this into here for a paddle holder. I added the cleats to it. They had spots for it, but they didn't have cleats on it. I added this Scotty mount for a anchor. The rope came here and you just pulled up, pulled down. Very easy system. I made this out of 2x4s and PVC. It's not the prettiest, but it gets the job done. This crate is from Walmart, I believe, and it is just a basic wooden crate. I bought these at Walmart as well. I think they're $4 a piece. Screwed them onto here. Added this battery box in here. The battery sits in here. You might be able to squeeze some baits in there. It's not a very big hole back here, but it's not meant to be. So this, and also the rod holders that these things are sitting in did not come on this kayak either. I also had to drill those out, put the rod inserts in there, and then add those in as well. And then the cup holder also I added in. So basically, and you'll see on the screen what it really looks like. I added pretty much everything in here to fit this out to be a fishing kayak. So, and I did it as cheap as possible. Even the paddle's a Walmart special. This is a new one I got from my brother so he could go with me and people could go with me and kayak fish and have a motor. So we used this last year, and this is a body glove from Walmart. It's not cheap. I mean, it's like 60, 70 bucks for this. Which you can buy a nice one for that, so it's not cheap. I wouldn't say that, but Walmart as well. Net, not the best net, but it's a net if you don't have one. I even have my old water shoes that I started out with that are also Ozark Trail Walmart special. So I guess what I'm trying to say by looking at all this is you watch all these guys with the $3,000 kayaks, the $2,000 kayaks, the $5,000 kayaks, and if you have the money, that's what you would want to go with if you're that serious about it. But I would say, this served me well. I fished out of it. I fished tournaments with it. Was it easy? No. Did I figure it out? Yeah. You can't stand up in this. This is made for recreational paddling. Basically just going up and down water, enjoying the scenery. This is maybe carry a rod with you, laying down up front and occasionally cast it. Like I said, there was no rod holders on this. There was no holes in this thing at all. So anything you see that's drilled into here, this was completely sealed other than obviously the hatch. And it's got a decent hatch. I never really got a whole lot of water in here. I keep a extra life vest in here, and then obviously my pole cord that I can put around myself to sorry, I don't know if you saw it, and there's that pedal. That pole cord that I can put around myself to drag, and also anchor off to stuff. So yeah, I got the extra battery over here. These hum sink that I got, also extremely cheap. I mean, you know what these lithium batteries cost. So, just picture cutting the price in half. I've never had an issue out of them. They link up. They have apps. You can see how much you have. I have two of them, two 12-volt 100 amps. I have one in here. I have that one in there. If I need to, I could jumper them together and I could go for a couple of days and have zero issue with battery. I'm talking I've ran 12 miles or more fairly easy, even with one battery, and been fine. So just, you got to kind of know how to use it and how to, keep a steady pace with everything. And it's still coming down out here, as you can see. But it's just a beautiful day. Here's the rods that I've been using. I added a new one to the repertoire at the expo. So another Abu Garcia with a Revo X to add to my collection here. But yeah, I have nothing bad to say about this, and I still would use this. I mean, if I go to do any creek fish, this tracks extremely well. So I've had my brother out in this one with minimal gear, and then I've had this one pretty much as is, and we'll go over it and the setup and how much the weight capacity and what the differences are. But he outruns me in this thing, and this thing tracks extremely well because it's just a straight V-hull. It's not a catamaran style or a tune style or any type of style where you're you have a little bit more stability, but you're going to lose some tracking. This, it's made for tracking. It's made for recreational use. It's made for just paddling up and down things very easily. You can maneuver this with a paddle with no motor and everything in it very easily. So I would still use this for creek trips, stuff like that. Like I said, I got to get a new pedal replaced, but I have an anchor system on here. It's the Scotty anchor. I got a bunch of Scotty mounts, Scotty mount. You know, they're very good if you not have a Yak Attack, you know, rails or stuff like that come on most of the newer kayaks or the more higher priced ones. Then, you know, you can go that route. But let's move on to the RS117. Now, this is not an expensive kayak either. So I got this one for right around $1,000 a little over a year ago. You know, and that was still pretty high for me. I didn't really feel like breaking the bank, but I wanted to be able to fish with these guys somewhat. So this is about a 425 weight-pound capacity. Pretty good for me. I'm a fairly slender guy. I've been fluctuating between 185 and 190. So, you know, here and there, but, you know, I'm tall. So I'm, you know, I'm taller. I'm 6'2". So, you know, I would say if I were to get another one, I'd maybe look at something maybe a little bit higher price, but that's a little bit longer because I am longer legged. But for the most part, this is fairly comfortable. I mean, I've caught a lot of good fish out of this thing already, and it's only been a year, and it's just made so much easier for me in a lot of ways. So let me walk you through it. These Yak Attack tracks come with the kayak. Everything else on here is stock, pedals stock. This hatch, all this is how it comes. And yeah, I've added some things obviously, but we'll go over that here in a second too. It's got plenty of good seat storage underneath here. We'll show that here in a second. I mean, this is me being, you know, budget friendly. Instead of buying a black pack, which, you know, I probably will eventually do, because I'm really getting into this and I enjoy it. I went and bought a $60 Magellan cooler that has rod holders on the side. Screwed those things in because they're just not, the clips it comes with are not very strong. And the integrity of the cooler has not been busted, so I could still, if I wanted to, take everything out, go down a river and keep drinks and food and everything in here cool, maybe for like a camping trip or something, or a couple day float. So that would be a cool little thing to do. I thought about that project for this year. I added these two Mighty Max tracks back here. These do not come on there. Let me come around here. These tracks do not come on here. There's one on either side. They're the Mighty Max XLs. You can buy them from Yak Attack or River Sports Outdoors, or really any kayak place nearby is going to have these. And I just line those up across from each other just in case I needed to put any mounts or anything back here. This is a Mighty mount. And this is strictly for my 360 light. And I use this even when I'm not in tournaments, because when you're out fishing at night and there's boats and even early in the morning and you're just fun fishing, you need to have something where people can see you. So even if you don't turn the light on, this is pretty high vis. You need to have something for safety. This is just your basic Onyx PFD, but it's, you know, it's certified by Cast for a regulated PFD. So you know, you don't have to worry about if you're sorry, a little cold out here. You don't have to worry about, you know, being within regulation. This is a qualified PFD to fish in tournaments, and it's fairly cheap for a good kayak life jacket, and it's fairly comfortable. There's a bunch of them out there, so you just kind of have to find out what works for you. I switched to a smaller graph, this Hook 4, which I bought off a gentleman for, I don't know, $50, next to nothing. And I just put this Burley Pro on here because the sun gives a lot of glare and I have to turn the brightness up, which reduces my battery life. And, you know, this is just a smart, cheap buy. Or if you have something you can make shift just to give you a hood to where you can see. But, you know, I got camera gear here. These are just the Yak Attack panfish, and I have this Yak Attack panfish, this 30 that I just replaced the Railblazer 600 with, which is at the bottom of Cherokee with my other GoPro camera, which is a very heartbreaking loss. But I'm in the market for another one, and I'll have something back there soon, so we could still have multiple views of the fish catches and the trips, and get good angles on the action. I want to talk about this Haaswing trolling motor. This thing, comparatively to obviously a one that you have to hand operate, is amazing. You just hook it up to your battery. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can see that. You hook it up and it's remote controlled and it's cheap. I got this from Walmart. It's just a few $100s more than buying one that's got the handle on it. And you get all the same stuff you get for the ones that cost thousands of dollars, or $1,500, or the Newports. I'm not saying that it's as good as a foot pedal one. I've never had that. I don't know anything about the Newports. I've seen them. They look very good. I can't afford them, so I do things budget wise, but that still put me in positions to succeed and try to make it easier for me to catch fish, because even though I'm not a good fisherman, I still try to find ways to maximize my potential. I just enjoy fishing. There's no way I would ever become professional. I don't have the time. I work for a living, and I just do this. I was doing this before the cameras started rolling 7-8 months ago, guys. I was already out here doing this every week, every day, constantly fishing with nobody watching, nothing happening. And, I had to give credit to my wife with helping me with this kayak and getting this for me for a gift, and getting me on the water, and then starting my passion. And then she always has supported me. And then, she's stuck behind me with this whole YouTube venture. And, yeah, it's been a real treat. I also have a net holder, which I would highly recommend. These Yak Attack net, this is actually a holder for your paddle, but I don't know what you guys can see here. This angle, I'm sorry, me moving around. Yeah, so this is actually can be used for a paddle, or even maybe the back of a rod, but I use it for the net. This is my waterproof battery pack. I put it in here. I put a stopper in here with the transducer so no water gets in there. I run the cords up to here. And you can even put your battery in this dry storage. There's a perfect spot for a battery right there. Run it straight to your graph. You could even mount it to the top of this. These are very easy to buy and replace. So if you drill a hole in them, I've already drilled one in it because I thought about putting it in here and then I went back on it. But this, you can buy these. Bonafide's very good at selling these little replacement items, and it's literally just 4 screws, put a new one on. So if you screw it up, or you want to have one for a thing, one just to have to keep things dry, you can buy both. Let's see here. Yeah, this Magellan cooler thing is $60. It holds one of my batteries in here perfectly. I just got a box of baits in here. Let me take time to talk about some of these as well. This is John Dalton Creek Adventures, and he's good old Kentucky Wildcat fan, and a man of the Lord, and a guy I really like to talk to and kind of pick his brain. And he uses these. I've watched a few of his videos where he catches fish on these. If you want to go to Mule Fishing Supply and pick up these bluegrass bugs, it'll do him a solid and also catch some fish. If he uses them and he made them, it's probably because they catch fish. He's very good at it. And then I ran into these gentlemen here. This is also a John Dalton special with the Helgramites. I'm not going to take credit for any of this stuff, but they are out of Ohio. They have these Helgramites, and they have some jigs, and they have a bunch of other baits, spinner baits, whatever. Check them out. They were really nice people. They had a good stand at that expo. And then I'm not a swim bait guy, and I'm also a cheap guy, as you can see, and I'm also a guy that doesn't like to spend a lot of money on things until I know they work. But this little chop block is a kind of a plastic, I don't know what it's made out of. It's a soft glide bait. I'm gonna throw this and see how it works before I get into throwing any expensive glide baits, because I don't want to lose them and I don't want to waste money, and I'm not a good glide bait fisherman because I've not done it a lot. I've exercised a lot of my demons with fishing and figuring out new tactics and new ways, but every time you do, you just prepare to lose baits and to go through issues that you've probably never dealt with before, because to be honest, every time I've tried new techniques, you're going to go through growing pains. Like I said, this is the remote for the Haaswing. Let me show you how it works. You just turn that on. You go back here. Let's take a look at it. So you hit prop on. Nothing happens. Well, you got to go either up or down for fast or slow. Well, you got to also plug it in. So, you know, that's a very important part of it. So anyway, you get it there, it's on, you hear it beep, you go rabbit. I think it's got 10 speeds. It's a 55-pound thrust trolling motor, very similar to that long joker I have over there that I can't get running for some reason. It runs until I put it in the water and it shorts out, so I got to figure that out, but you know, I don't really use it. That motor guide works good, and it's a short shaft, and it works perfect for that little size. And that thing hums 5 miles an hour easy with that little motor guide on there. It does not need a 55-pound thrust. But if you want to go that route, I've tried this. I have another mount made by some guys that worked in a metal fab shop with me at my last job, and they made that. You can hook. You can either make one or you can buy one like this right here off of Amazon, and you can mount it to the back and you can put that on there, and you can get one of these extensions and you can have it to where you can reach over your shoulder and do it. You can make one of these wooden mounts here and have it to where it's right by your side. Now that is easier, but it does take it's a little trickier to figure out how to maneuver. Your turns are a little different because everything's pulling from one side instead of, you know, in the back of your kayak where you're basically working as a rudder. Here you're working as a rudder, but off your left side or right side, however you want to set it up. It really just depends on what your dominant fishing hand is and what makes the most sense for you. You can work that however you want to, but yeah, you gotta go through these quirks and find things yourself. Like I said, this is a $1,000 kayak. You can stand up in it very comfortably. I cast all over the place. I work the motor as I'm standing up in it. I have zero issue with that. Hopefully this Yak Attack with the floats on it. I got a friend of mine that we fish with, Sam Beck. He's talking about making a rod noodle to go on there with it, maybe just to add some extra floating, because with a camera on there and a battery, external battery charger on it, it might still sink a little bit. But that Railblazer, that was just a mistake. I never tested it before, and there was no flotation device on 15-mile-per-hour winds, and and the Star track versus the Yak Attack track. For the Yak Attack, it wasn't good. I'm not going to knock Railblazer. It probably works for some people. I would not buy them again, and I learned a valuable lesson the hard way. So just, you know, your comments, whatever there on that, I don't know enough about it. Like I said, I used it once, lost all my equipment, and, you know, conditions were not favorable, but, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah. This is my, you know, mess over here, and this is actually an organized mess for me. You can see my garage. It's slightly organized, slightly a disaster. But I've cleaned it up actually quite a bit from what it was. So it's, you know, still a work in progress. But everything here, you know, I'm very minimalistic. I got these baits secondhand from people. Some I've bought and just added to the collection, but these are all full here and I can pull from them. Got some old school baits. We might do that unboxing, but a lot of these are from the 80s and 90s. I got off somebody and they're awesome. I'm just afraid to throw some of these old balsa baits because they don't make them anymore, but I would like to go through a, you know, kind of what's in them, kind of the difference between what was made in the past versus what you get now. Obviously, I can't wait to start throwing these things again. These are all broken top waters, so no, well, this Oziri's not, but yeah. We're just we're doing the best we can to get by with this thing here. This light I bought off Amazon, it is sweet. It is way better than that one I got from Walmart, and you can Velcro it down here. It comes off, I think. We'll leave it. We don't need to take it off. And it has a Velcro pad that attaches down here, and you just put batteries in it. You turn it on, and you got your navigation lights, and you don't have to run any wires or anything, and you just keep an extra pack of batteries on you, as you need to do anyway if you have anything battery operated. And yeah, when it's safe light, you can turn them off, and you're good to go. I truck mount this now with the new Jeep this year, you know, being a huge help on my back and just on my overall, you know, able to haul things. I went also very cheap. You don't have to buy the Bonafide or the Burleys or any of the other truck bed extenders if you want to do it on a budget, as I did here, because I don't know if I want to keep this or I eventually want to move to a trailer, and I'm not going to invest a bunch of money if I don't have to. I've used this joker for this, $50 Harbor Freight. It's worked perfectly. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe there is some difference and I'm just not getting it. But I mean, it holds the thing back there. It doesn't move. It has the you know, the eyes on the side where you can run it, your RS 15s or 25s through there, or 20s, and you can strap it to your truck bed, easy peasy. There's really no reason to break the bank, I don't think, but like I said, I haven't used the other ones, so I can't knock them. They probably are better to some degree. You usually pay more for things that are you know, that give you extra advantages and things like that, and there probably is some of that, but so far I've went all over, traveled long distances on the highway with that truck bed extender, with this kayak, you know, and everything has been golden. We'll go over rods and setups another time, but I just kind of wanted to go over everything with you. I've been meaning to do this for a while, but honestly, I just haven't had the time, and when I do think about it, you know, I'm always trying to figure out the best way to go about it. But I mean, just a guy who likes to fish, and I definitely have a problem. I like to enjoy getting out on the water, and you know, you can also, I wanted to show this, you can put a little pack here behind your seat, and put, you know, baits, line, reels, whatever. I always keep an extra reel on me. You can see I got several reels up there too. I can throw in there if I need to. Underneath here, you can pack about, I'd say comfortably, you can pack 4 of these Plano boxes and these tackle boxes, and yeah, and you can get 6 in there uncomfortably. You'll feel them underneath here, but if you have a cushion like this here, and this one's a little sweet, this one's got, you know, this one's got heating capabilities. If you put it into a battery pack, it heats up your rear end, but and it's a good cushion. But yeah, it's not tough. You don't have to have anything special. This is obviously the crankbaits I'm throwing this time of year, but I have jerk baits here, and I have other backup crankbaits on this side. This is just a bunch of worms, soft plastic crawls that are extra. Nothing special there. This is all my wire baits and some of my jigs in here. And this is my swim bait hooks, and little soft plastic jerk baits. Anything that looks like a fish, you know, I keep in here. Coal shads, swim baits, like I said, soft plastic jerk baits, flukes, you name it. Different colors, different techniques, all the different hook sizes I need in here. And these things have been pretty well waterproof, and they're inexpensive. They're, you know, 10 bucks at the most, and you're gonna get, you know, good quality. I've literally had these for almost a year now, and they haven't cracked, they haven't broke, and there hasn't been any water in them. And trust me, they've had every opportunity to get water in them. So yeah, that's the setup for now. Like I said, maybe one day. Oh, here's my pull strap. I also got these off Amazon. I also got an anchor wizard on here. I didn't talk about that. It is filthy. I don't use it. This time of year, I haven't been fishing the rivers as much because obviously it's winter and there's just, you know, it's too cold. The water's down everywhere. So, you know, a lot of good bites. I haven't happened to go to deeper water in the lake, but yeah. Throw your anchor right underneath here. Hooks it up and you're good to go. Smile, you're on camera. I'm just kidding. So yeah, I guess what I wanted to say is you can do all of this and don't care what anybody thinks about you. It doesn't matter. You're here to serve the Lord and, you know, enjoy life that he gives you and not try to compare yourself to the Joneses. I'm not saying don't try to succeed. Don't try to be ambitious, but, you know, be where your feet are. Don't always worry about what everybody else has. I did that for almost 2 years, competed against guys that were in $5,000 kayaks, that were putting at the ramp, that looked at me probably sideways and funny because I card topped that on a 2020 Jeep Renegade for years and, you know, put a motor on it and it looked like that. You know, people probably looked at me and said, you know, this guy's, you know, crazy. But, you know, I wanted to get out there and fish. I wanted to compete. I'm a you know, ex-basketball player who has gotten old and is getting tired of getting beat up. And I always enjoyed fishing as a younger man, but played basketball my whole life. And now I am, you know, this is what I do. This is how I compete. And this is a lot, I'm still sore doing this, but I'm a lot less sore than I am playing ball. And I don't get beat up by any of these young guys, you know, playing hoops. And I can, you know, still go to work and feel good and okay, which is the most important thing. The day this starts affecting my livelihood, well, hopefully one day it becomes my livelihood, but you know, that's wishful thinking. For now, I'm just doing what I've already been doing, what I love, and just making the most of it. Because like I said, I'm going to do this anyway. Take the cameras off this thing. Still going to have this kayak. Still going to compete. Still going to enjoy myself. Still going to have a good time. But I get to show my creative side. I like working with this software. I'm getting better with it every day. I appreciate everybody for watching. And yeah, like I said, oh, also, I want to talk about this paddle, you know. I see all these bending branches paddles out here and everything that, you know, is out there to offer. And they're $300-$400 paddles and that's good and great. I've had that Pelican one for almost 2 years and it's tracked good. It's got me through swift water, these Tennessee rivers, even near the mountains up, you know, they're fast streams. You got to make quick pivots. I mean, they probably are better in a lot of regards. That thing has done me a wonder. Like I said, $50, $60 paddle versus $150 minimum to $300 paddle. I really don't know what the difference is. And if you're going to use a motor, you're going to use the paddle very minimalistically. You're going to use it in little short rotations or back in shallow water where you don't want to spook the fish or, you know, so I guess just get what you feel like is necessary, but you can get anything and get out on the water, guys. This is not something where you have to be rich or you have to have all these things to succeed. Does it help? Yes. Is it a good idea to try to get things to make it easier? If you got it, do it. But, you know, my thing is don't try to break the bank just to have what somebody else has if you don't think you need it. I've used forward-facing sonar on my buddy's boat when we fished on Tuesday night tournaments. You might have seen a little bit of that footage. I still don't know what I'm doing on it, and I've fished with him several times with it, and yeah, and I catch fish power fishing the way I always have. I've slowed down a lot. You have to become a better fisherman. But yeah, that graph showing me depth and structure and water temp is all you need, really. Like, you could try to locate fish with it, but use your instincts. Use what God gave you to figure out. Fish haven't changed that much. They still have done the same things. People just figured out new ways to catch them. Are there more out there in the middle? Yeah. Will I get there eventually? No, probably. But, you know, right now, this is very fine for me, and I don't care competing like this. And, you know, when I get there, I get there. But it's not a deterrent, and I don't really care about, you know, finding what everybody else has. I enjoy this. I enjoy fishing with the people I fish with. Everybody in the 10 Cat series has been very, very kind to me. Franklin, Sharp, Josh, and Jacob, and, you know, John and Alex, and everybody I've met through this whole thing, and just kind of just even got to talk to and rub shoulders with. They've all been very friendly, all been very nice. And, you know, maybe it's because they enjoy taking my money, or maybe it's just because, you know, Sam's great, Josh White, Sam Beck, all of them. I appreciate the knowledge and the time, and just watching them and learning from them and watching what they do. It really brings me a lot of enjoyment, and I try to just use some of what they've taught me, use some of my style, and make it all work. And like I said, I could have been doing this for years. I just didn't think about it. And, you know, it doesn't make me any worse or any better than the next person. So just get out there, get out in nature, love the Lord, have a blessed weekend, enjoy this snowy weather. I don't know if I'd get out and fish in this. I mean, I guess you could if you felt like it. It's a little bit of a be a little bit of a task. I don't think I would do it, but, you know, just be safe whatever you do, and just enjoy spending time outdoors. I hike, I camp. You're gonna see some of that footage. I've put some in there. I have my camping gear. I have my ruck here. These are fishing bags, but I can use them for hikes. And I got a smaller bag for shorter hikes. And just anybody wants to go with me. I kept this kayak not only to creek fish, but so I can go fishing with my brother. I can go fishing with my friends. I can go fishing with, you know, anybody that I know that doesn't have a kayak. Having that with a motor on it, I'm sorry, but when you don't have anything, that thing right there is a dream. And it can get in any water. You just kick that motor up, and you can drag that through anything you want to. So yeah, I'll keep it probably forever just because it's my first, and it's really no reason to sell it. And just keep moving on. But you know, I'm sure this won't be the last kayak I buy, and, you know, more stable. So if you're a bigger gentleman, you want to get something this size or bigger, don't go getting something like that. If you're trying to stand up or be comfortable, that weight capacity on that one, I think, is 300 or 325, and that's being generous. This one's 425, 450. That's still being a little generous, but it's, you know, it's very doable. It's very believable being in it. You know, I weigh almost 200. I would say with all this gear, we're pushing close to that. So, you know, this is probably maxed out for what it is, but it's very, very, very convenient for the price. And I would recommend it, and go see the people down at River Sports Outfitters. River Sports Outfitters. They're kind. They've been nice to me. I know they you know, Josh Sharp represents them, and a few others locally. So, you know, it'll help support them. And yeah, just keep watching, and, you know, there's more to come. I got another GoPro camera coming here soon, hopefully. Got to find a deal so I can replace that one, because I want to get all that footage for you guys. But this is where we're at for now. So I appreciate everybody who supports the channel, and you know, hopefully this garage looks a lot better when spring comes and I'm able to get some more stuff out of here. But yeah, this is where we're at for now, and I appreciate the time and the effort and everything you guys have done for, you know, liking and subscribing and watching and growing the channel. Honestly didn't think I would get above 1,000 subscribers. To get to where I've gotten is a bit of a unreal, but you know, God is good and he always provides, and I just have to trust in him and everything. And I appreciate all the prayers for me and my wife as well. So thank you, and yeah, just continue watching.